Not 1x, not 2x, not porn, but 4x games. Coming right up. Hi players, bonjour from Paris. My name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today we're going to talk about 4x games. Now I do want to tell you that before I got into this hobby, about a year and a half ago, I was really into strategical PC games. Games like Age of Empires, Warcraft, Starcraft, and all the way into Sid Meier's Civilization 6. I was really drawn into their mechanism even before I knew they're called 4X games. So what does 4X stands for? 4X stands for explore the territory, expand your camp, exploit the resources, and exterminate your enemies in order to achieve victory. I really wanted in board games to have the same feeling that I had when I played the PC games. So I started researching and I started to buy a lot of them. What do you mean a lot of them? A lot of them as in I'm 36 years old and I don't have children. Or 36 years old, I have a salary and not a lot of expenses, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them. And from all of them, I decided to narrow it down into 3 games that I'm going to present to you in this video. Why specifically these 3 games? Well, this is not going to be another video that glorifies Twilight Imperium or Clash of Cultures or Eclipse, not because they're not good, I think they are amazing, but not all the time we have 13 hours to play a Twilight Imperium or even 5-6 hours to play Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition or Eclipse Second Dawn. Also, 2 videos ago, a guy named Johnny left for me a comment when I did a review for City of the Great Machine. He told me, hey man, how about you give us some reviews or recommendations about games with specific time frames, like different, because not all the time we have so many hours to play a specific game. And I thought to myself, this is a pretty good idea. So Johnny, thank you very much, this is for you. The thing that is important for me in this video is that the games that I'm recommending for you really give you the 4X experience. Just like I had, in my opinion, with the PC games, I wanted to have in board games. So let's get started with the first game that is right next to me. You already saw it, and that is March of the Ants. The time frame for this game will be an average of an hour or an hour and a half, but only if we're playing with 5 players or the long version of the game or something like that. But usually it's going to take about an hour 15 minutes, let's say. In this game, each player is going to play a colony of ants, and we're going to do different things like discovering new parts of the meadow. We're going to exploit the resources that we have. We're going to battle with other colonies, and even going to evolve our ants into be better in combat or in gathering or something like that. Now, one of the reasons that I find this game so special is the size of the box and the level of components that we have here, which is not amazing. It's not something that you can say we have here beautiful miniatures or dual player board or something like that. This game is almost feels like abstract because the cubes moving from one place to another, they can go from being a larva into an ant, but still we get here a very good experience of a 4X game in a very short amount of time. Right? An hour 15 minutes for a 4X game is something that considered to be almost a filler in this genre. It's something that we play before we start playing. We're going to warm up with this game. And yet we'll be able to do here everything from exploring a new territory in the meadow. We'll be able to go into fights. We'll exploit the resources that we have, and we're going to expand our camp in order to be the greatest colony in the meadow. More about this game will be in my next video when I'm going to teach you how to play and give you a broader review of this. Moving on to the second game that I would like to recommend for you, and that is Northgard Uncharted Lands. So as you can see already, this box is much bigger if we need to compare than we have here March of the Ants, and right next to it we have Northgard. Now again we have here a full 4X experience, which is going to take for us a bit longer, let's say about an hour and a half or 2 hours if this is going to be a full table. But still, this is going to be relatively a fast-paced going game. What I like in this game that it's going to add for us another mechanism, and that is the deck building mechanism. Because we'll be able to purchase some other cards that are available. This game, we can already see the difference of the material, because here even the tiles are bigger. We have small miniatures. We're going to have different mythical creatures that are going to add to this game. Also, we're going to have 2 expansions if we want more and to just broaden the content that we're going to have in this game. We're going to be able to build buildings in the territories, which is something that we didn't have in March of the Ants. And just in general, we're going to have here more content that is going to just complement to the 4X aspect. The last game that I want to present you, and I'm going to take a little bit more time talking about it, just because I'm super proud of having it, and I do think that this is an amazing game, and that is Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. As you can see or hear, this game is massive, okay? This is an incredible game, and what is special about it is that this is a 4X game, but cooperative one. What? Yeah, a cooperative 4X game. And that means that all the players participating are going to fight 2 enemy factions, but not only that, but the 2 enemy factions are going to fight between themselves. So if we're going to have those 2 factions in the same hexagon, they're going to battle, going to have a winner that is going to gain some things. And for me, this is just mind-blowing. This is maybe like the closest that I had with the PC experience of 4X. We're going to have here asymmetrical tribes that are going to recruit different units, are going to have different powers. You can choose between different leaders that will give you some other advantages. You're going to have here items that you can buy. You will have here some druid cards that are going to change a little bit the game. This is even a little bit of a narrative game, because we'll have here different cards that we will read every round, let's say, different chapters. We will have here quests that we can do in this game. So this is really a 4X game in its core, but it's going to have so much more mechanisms and so much more things to do. Already we can see that this game, I wouldn't say it's a table hog, but its presence is so much more big than the other 2 games. This is a huge game relatively to the others. Now, the time frame for Uprising, let's say that it's like my girlfriend is out of town, so bring the whiskey, boys, let's get to it. Yeah, this game is going to take much longer. So if we're talking about from, I don't know, an hour 15 minutes for March of the Ants, and then around 2 hours for Northgard, here we're looking for about 4 hours of game, maybe even a little bit more if we have more players, if it's really a full table. So this is getting already closer to a Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition that is not going to be in this video, but just to give you a little bit of a idea about the time frame. So Uprising, again, you're going to explore the tiles that are next to you. You're going to build more camps. It's so satisfying building more camps and then taking the resources at the end of each round. You'll have here a possibility to move armies, but you'll need food for it. And there's a lot of going on in Uprising. I think this is an amazing game. Even the different territories that you have will affect the way that you're doing combat. All in all, the AI, let's say, behind Uprising, I find it really incredible. It's going to have another expansion beyond the one that it has already, which is called Titans, I think, something like that. I'm sorry, I will put it on the screen, which was supposed to come this August 2023, if I'm not mistaken. That will just bring more content to Uprising and maybe another mechanism and even upgraded materials. I don't know how you can upgrade from Uprising, but I guess they find a way, which is amazing. Now you might be a little bit surprised and ask me, hold on Asaf, you're talking about 4X games, but you're not even mentioning games like Scythe? I mean, top 20 in BGG. And let me tell you guys, Scythe is one of my favorite games, really easily in my top 5. But I'll explain to you how come, in my opinion, it doesn't fall into this category. So Scythe, just like 2 other games that I love, like Dark Ages and Heroes of Land, Air and Sea, They have a little bit of a problem, in my opinion, with the exploration part. So with all the games that I presented to you so far, when we talked about the exploration aspect, we saw that we're really going to take a tile, we're going to add it to the map. It's something that we had no idea what's going to be there before we took this tile and flipped it face up. And in Scythe, or the two other games that I mentioned, this is not the case. In Scythe, even if we're going to go and explore this encounter, right? Because this is this exploration part that we're talking about. We already know what is the tile itself. We already know if it's mountains or village or tundra or whatever. So we're just, let's say, exploring the encounter. Or just like in Dark Ages, that we don't know exactly what is the army that is going to be there. We're going to flip a small token, but it doesn't feel, again, I was looking for the experience that I had with the PC games, and it doesn't feel like you're exploring something new. With the games that I presented so far, it really feels that you're going into a new territory, or when you want to explore the unknown. And with the other games, it doesn't feel like this. So some people will say that maybe it should be considered like a 3.5x game, or a light 4x or something like that. I just prefer not to define it like that. For me, this is like a classic 4x games, and there are other games that are close to it, but not quite there. Guys, if you've been watching so far, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. As always, if you learned something new, if you saw something that you like, please consider subscribing to my channel. We're getting so close to my first milestone, which is 100 subscribers. Like and comment on the video. Let me know what kind of 4x game do you like. Do you agree with my choices or not so much? Let's start talking about it. I would love to hear your opinion. Take care and see you next time.